If you struggle with shyness or social anxiety, check out our free No BS training course with actual useful advice you can do from home. None of that just get out there nonsense. The link is in the description below. For now, let's get to today's question.
The question, how can I overcome extreme shyness and awkwardness? Answer by Jacob Bobby. A person is normally perceived as shy when he/she is uncomfortable in the presence of others. The three common situations are in the presence of authorities or people of a higher status, power. In social situations e.g. in a wedding or a public meeting or an informal get-together, formal party. In situations where one needs to be assertive, e.g. to go and make an inquiry or register a complaint. It is not necessary that a person has to be an extrovert in order to be bold, not shy. Introverts are merely comfortable being aloof and prefer not to interact with others, but when required they are confident about themselves and bold enough to articulate. Interact is required. However, confidence is a must. If he/she does not believe in one's own abilities, strengths, legitimate needs and rights, then the person would slowly become a recluse. Perhaps your lack of confidence is possibly largely responsible for your acute anxiety whenever you have to interact with people. Your lack of confidence could also be due to low self-esteem or some traumatic experiences or some bitter criticism. I also suggest that you work on your conversational skills and learn the art of asking open-ended questions that elicit a more elaborate response than a mere yes or no response from those you interact with. You must also practice the art of responding with at least a couple of sentences when responding to others. Learning to compliment people and giving them genuine appreciation will enable you to get others to respond positively to you. The following tips could also be useful for you. When in a group, you will find some natural extrovert coming up to you and striking a conversation. Use the opportunity to warm up and be better prepared to try the same with some other people in the group. You must learn the art of identifying people who look lost or who seem to be introverts, and perhaps you will be more comfortable trying to initiate a conversation with such people. Learn the art of introducing yourself and also some good lines, questions that are open-ended. Be careful not to be too aggressive with a response that runs counter to the opinion/views of the person you are interacting with has. Also find polite ways of excusing yourself from a conversation so that you can move on if bored or if you want to interact with others. I would also urge you to also go through my answers to similar queries raised in this forum, which can be accessed by clicking on the links below. Jacob Bobby's answer to how can I save myself from low self-esteem? Jacob Bobby's answer to what are the best options for increasing self-confidence? Best wishes. Answer by Akriti Raheja. I used to be terribly shy and dreaded social situations. This was because I was always very self-conscious and was concerned about what people would think about me. As I progressed from college to working in a big MNC, my communication skills improved drastically. I did this in the following ways: using my innate curiosity about people to my advantage. I learned that people love talking about themselves. So asking them questions about their life without being nosy gave an easy flow to the conversation and also helped to build up great friendships. Ignoring my racing heart and dry mouth and do what was required. Whether it's ordering a pizza or speaking to someone about an uncomfortable topic, I would treat it as stepping into a cold shower, something that would be unpleasant at first but good for you. And over time, my heart rate returned to normal. The biggest challenge for me was small talk. I was terrible at it and it always ended in awkward pauses. But I recognized that small talk is essential in all aspects of life. So I began to observe people who seemed comfortable talking about anything under the sun. I quickly gauged a pattern. Good conversations always seem to start with general topics, like the weather or politics, then before it gets boring or dry, move on to more personal topics like where a person is from, or their hobbies. That way, the level of comfort increases and it's a great way to have an easy conversation. So being a good observer and a good listener, traits that come naturally with being shy, helps you in learning about people from other people. But the thing that helped me most was accepting that being shy was a part of my personality, and while I may get more comfortable in social situations, it will never totally go away. And I learned to be okay with that. Being shy has made me a keenly intuitive person, more compassionate of others in the same situation, and it also means I am good at reading people's emotions. And I wouldn't trade that for anything. Answer by Rebecca Knowles. Are you shy and self-conscious in social situations? Do you feel isolated and lonely, but unsure how to connect with others? You may feel like you're the only one, but the truth is that lots of people struggle with shyness and social insecurity. No matter how awkward or nervous you feel in the company of others, you can learn to silence self-critical thoughts, boost your self-esteem, and become more confident in your interactions with others. You don't have to change your personality, but by learning new skills and adopting a different outlook, you can overcome your fears and build rewarding friendships. Full source, 13 confident ways to overcome your shyness, Moldita. When it comes to shyness and social awkwardness, the things we tell ourselves make a huge difference. Here are some common thinking patterns that can undermine your confidence and fuel social insecurity. Many other people feel just as awkward and nervous as you do. When you're socially anxious, it can seem that everyone else is an extrovert brimming with self-confidence. But that's not the case. Some people are better at hiding it than others, but there are many introverted people out there struggling with the same self-doubts as you are. The next person you speak to is just as likely to be worried about what you think of them. Some people seem to instinctively know how to start a conversation with anyone, in any place. I find you're not one of these lucky types. Here are some easy ways to make conversation with someone new. Ask an open-ended question, one that requires more than just a yes or no answer. Adhere to the journalist's credo and ask a question that begins with one of the 5 W's, or 1H, who, where, when, what, why, or how. For example, who do you know here? W. Here do you normally go on a Friday? When did you move here? What keeps you busy? Why did you decide to become a vegetarian? How is the wine? Most people enjoy talking about themselves, so asking a question is a good way to get a conversation started. Use a compliment. For example, I really like your purse, can I ask where you get it? Or you look like you've done this before, can you tell me where I have to sign in? Note anything you have in common and ask a follow-up question. I play golf as well. What's your favorite local course? My daughter went to that school, too. How does your son like it? Keep the conversation going with small talk. Don't say something that's obviously provocative and avoid heavy subjects such as politics or religion. Stick to light subjects like the weather, surroundings, and anything you have in common such as school, movies, or sports teams. Listen effectively. Listening is not the same as waiting for your turn to talk. You can't concentrate on what someone's saying if you're forming what you're going to say next. One of the keys to effective communication is to focus fully on the speaker and show interest in what's being said. Nod occasionally, smile at the person, and make sure your posture is open and inviting. Encourage the speaker to continue with small verbal cues like yes or Try not to take things too personally. The other person may be having a bad day, but distracted by other problems, or just not be in a talkative mood. Always remember that rejection is just as much to do with the other person as it does you.